Ken Holland with the morning show today. 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. Taking your Red Wings bold ass predictions for the 2018-2019 season. We got that question out there. Would you rather see this young, plunky group of Red Wings scratch and claw and battle and get into the playoffs as an 8 seed, or finish last for the best chance at Jack Hughes, who one NHL scout I talked to called him a generational talent, on par with McDavid, on par with Crosby. Going to smash all the records at USA Hockey set by Kane and Austin Matthews and Jack Eichel. Problem is, of course, losing only gives you an 18.5% chance of winning the draft lottery. We talked about the Vegas odds. The Wings have the lowest over-under for point total. They have the longest shot to win the Stanley Cup. ESPN today picked them to be the worst team in hockey. And look, I'm not clearly happy about this development, but yes, before the season even started, I would rather see them have the best chance at the top lottery pick than make the playoffs this year. 248-539-9797. Gator, you'd rather them make the playoffs? Is that correct? I didn't.
It's
you kind of.
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, I wouldn't mind if I saw them make the playoffs because I'd feel better about it. But I get it. I totally understand. Do I want to have a superstar player on this team? You bet. You bet. So if this team played well and was exciting to watch but lost every game 6-5,
yeah,
would I feel better about that? I might. You know, it's like kind of like the same with the Tigers this year. I was rooting for the Tigers to be, and Tigers had like the perfect season for me. They played well, given that roster that was out there for the second half of the season that was a 4A roster, not a AAA, just a quadruple A roster they had out there, and they were competitive. They lost so many 1-run and 2-run games, a ton of 1-run games, that I was fine with it. That's fine. Be good enough to lose, and there'll be people you can blame on why, with the shortcomings and why they did lose, and I think we can do the same thing with the Wings.
248-539-9797. We're going to do a lot of public service announcements today, and we'll have our first one today at 10:30. But to your phone calls, you can get your bold-ass predictions in on the Red Wings season if you so choose. We have Martin in Wixom. Hi, Martin.
What up, boys?
Hey, Martin.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
That's awesome. Bold ass prediction. Just hear me out for a minute. Red Wings will win a playoff round this year.
Whoa.
We're going to tell you 2 reasons. Blashill got the head coaching job because he developed these young players in Grand Rapids, and I think this is going to play to his strength. Number 2, what I saw on Saturday against Toronto when they lost, it was a Friday, I can't remember. They were losing, and it wasn't that they were losing. It was the fact that they were fighting with the Toronto players, sending a sign, which Red Wings have not done because they tried to stay classy. I think this team's hungry. I think they're gritty. They're going to want to win. And I think if the preseason shows anything of what I think they're capable of, they're going to go to the playoffs. And I think the fact that they all know Steve Yzerman's coming, these boys are going to be playing for their jobs. They want to stay. They're not going to be playing for a draft pick. I think your Red Wings are going to be the sleeper this year, win a first-round series, and shock the world because I think this team is really good. And I love these youngsters. And when you have youngsters with hunger and grit, bold ass, baby, we're going to win a first round. Mark it.
You think your quote is, you think this team is really good?
I think their young players is good. And when you have young players, listen, I love Zeddy, but I'm so glad he left because of the fact that now these young guys will get more time. These young guys are going to play, and they're going to play to speed. We didn't have speed. We got speed. You need speed to win, and I think these youngsters have it. And Dylan Larkin will have a breakout year this year. You watch and see. He's going to be unbelievable this year. You can lock that one, too. Can I get the music? Dylan Larkin, breakout music. Breakout music.
He's calling his own shot, man.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Dylan Larkin, breakout.
What else is going on, boys?
Absolutely nothing. You've nailed it all. You've got the entire season.
I can always work there part-time. Just let me know when you guys need me.
We will do that. You'll be on our emergency break glass list. We'll get the Martin and Martin show. Let's go to Phil in Canton. You're on 97.1 The Ticket.
Morning, boys.
Phil.
So I got a couple here for you, so give me just a minute. The Wings, Martin's totally wrong. The Wings end the season with no more than 70 points. In the middle of that, the Wings acquire Steve Yzerman as the GM in the middle of a 16-game losing streak. And the first thing that Steve Yzerman does, he makes 2 trades and 2 acquires he signs Erik Karlsson to come lead this team's defense, and the second, he acquires Tom Wilson from the Capitals for a spare Zamboni tire and a bag of pucks.
Wow.
There's my bold-ass prediction.
So Tom Wilson could play in 5 games, get suspended again, play in 5 games, get suspended again, play in 5 games, get suspended again.
We just need him to we just need to show that we got the grit that other teams can't handle. Yeah. Philadelphia's got nothing with whatever their monster person is.
Gritty?
We got Tom Wilson.
Yeah, we got Tom Wilson to counter Gritty? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, if you match those dudes up, I pick Tom Wilson 10 out of 10 times.
I would, yes, Tom Wilson versus Gritty. I would take Tom Wilson. Did you see the hit that got Tom Wilson suspended this time? Straight to the head. I mean, straight to the head. And I think they said he's back. He's been back for 16 games. He made 2 hits in last year's preseason, got him suspended. Played a bunch of last year, got suspended, came back, played in 16 games, got suspended again for 20 games. But, hey, man. All right, you're down for your bold-ass prediction. 248-539-9797. You know the Zadina thing and your number 1 pick starting the season in Grand Rapids. I watched Toronto-Montreal last night just to see this Jesper Kotkaniemi, who is, I think he went 3rd in the draft.
All right.
Because the top 5 picks all made their big clubs. Or in Kachuk's case, I don't think he did because he's hurt, but he would have. He was tracking that way. And then our guy doesn't. And you go, oh, that sucks. Oh, whatever. But, it doesn't mean as much long term. It just means he's not ready now. Those teams, allegedly are worse than Detroit, although with the draft lottery, things bounce around. But anyway, the point is, and he was fine. He wasn't oh, my God, they missed out talent.
He had an assist in the game.
He did, but it was one of those assists where he dumped it behind the goal. Somebody else picked it up, made the pass.
There you go. You got it. You got an assist somehow.
But I don't feel like, oh my God, we missed out. Although I still think people are just a little disappointed. Just a little.
Well, so would you rather that Zadina was on fire, was playing, and the Red Wings were creeping close towards that playoff spot, or are you still lose for Hughes?
Well, I'm lose for Hughes, but if Zadina looked like he was going to be like special and had one of those dominant preseasons, then I'd be all fired up.
Yeah.
But you know what? I made this comment about the Tigers, and I'll make the same comment about the Red Wings. And I know a lot of people don't like the aging veterans. Some of them they brought back, some of them they signed. These guys become trade commodities. They become trade commodities at the deadline, where the next thing you know, you've moved a player like Thomas Tatar for 3 draft picks, which was a phenomenal deal.
It really was, considering I think Tatar had like 28 points in 62 games with the Wings last year. Is that requisite of getting
first, second, and a
third round pick in return? No, but that also speaks to the Vegas Golden Knights had 1 million picks, and they had to get rid of package picks together to get rid of some of those picks. It just had too many of them for that organization at that time, and that's why they had them, so they could trade for players. But I keep going back with this Jack Hughes thing. And when you were mentioning that you talked to a couple of guys, I know you've got sources in the league that independent of each other that said that he's a generational type player, and you asked like McDavid and Crosby, and they said, well, different player, but yes. Mm-hmm. And I guess need to define what a different player is, because you look back at what those guys were before they were drafted, they were like 2.5, 3-point-a-game guys. And Hughes he's like a 2-point-a-game guy. Not that there is difference in that. I think like the expectation might be going a little high here, because you got me all excited, Doug. When I started thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. Because I heard about Hughes last year watching the draft, because his brother got drafted, and we were like, well, what Jack Hughes is really the guy that you're looking at. Oh, okay, what's he like? Well, I think he's going to be a good player. But I don't know if I'd heard that kind of hype, and now you're bringing up this hype, and I like the hype.
I know.
I like the hype.
But I know what hype does to you. It makes you bristle, and you fight back against hype.
I mean, I like to hear the hype, but it makes me a little hypercritical when I go into looking at it, and I don't want to be that guy.
But here's the deal. At this point, what are they truly playing for this year anyway? I mean,
well, they're playing to be better. And to be better in the future, though, part of that is getting better at the draft. And the Red Wings have not had a whole lot of experience of drafting high in the draft over the last 25 years.
Bold-ass prediction from Alex in his car. Zadina will score exactly 3 goals for the Red Wings this season.
The last 2 games of the year?
Lose for Hughes has been underway in Vancouver since they drafted his brother Quinn. Should they finish last, they have an 18 to 20% chance at the first pick. Well, it's 18.5.
Well, it's between 18 and 20.
From an unnamed texter. How sad is the state of sports when we're talking about the draft before you've even played a single game?
Yeah.
Shaking my head. Hopefully the Pistons bring us relief.
Yeah.
Well, the Pistons could be a lottery team.
The one last night.
There's no point in trying to win this year. Tank for the number 1 pick. Let's go. Lose for Hughes. Kid's going to be a stud. Why in the hell would you want the Wings to lose? All that means is everybody else is terrible to go after one guy. That's from Rick and Livonia. It doesn't mean they're terrible. It just means they're too young. Doug Karsch, Scott Anderson. Got some Lions stuff we'll get to. A second quarter of the season to-do list. Gator, a to-do list for the Lions that we'll get to in the 11 o'clock hour. NBA player did this. Would you ever do it? That's at 10:50. And a public service announcement ahead in 5 minutes at 10:32 here on 97.1 The Ticket.